So think about this for a second. What if the next massive breakthrough in artificial intelligence isn't made by a human researcher, but by an AI itself? I know it sounds a little wild, but this isn't just a thought experiment. It's literally the stated mission of the world's top AI labs. They are all in this crazy race to automate their own work.
And look, this is not science fiction. We're not talking about some distant future. Sam Altman, the CEO of OpenAI, is on record saying he expects to have an automated AI researcher by 2028. That's just a few years away. And he's not the only one saying this. You've got the leaders at Google DeepMind and Anthropic making very similar predictions. The consensus is this is right around the corner.
So that brings us to the big one, right? The central question of this entire explainer, and one with huge stakes for, well, all of us. What actually happens when AI starts building AI? Now, it's easy to think of all this in the future tense, but the thing is, it's not. This automation is already happening in a big way. Let's take a look at what's going on right now.
Check out this number, 50%. That's not a typo. According to Google's parent company, Alphabet, half of all new code at Google is already being generated or helped along by AI. I mean, that is just a staggering figure. It really shows you how deeply this tech is already woven into the fabric of R&D.
And, this isn't just a Google thing. This trend is happening across the board. Almost half of all software developers are using AI tools every single day. The automation of software engineering, a huge piece of AI research, is no longer a niche idea. It's totally mainstream.
All right, so everything's moving incredibly fast. But, and this is a big but, we have a problem. As this automation accelerates, we are, for all intents and purposes, flying blind. We don't have the right data, the right instruments to track what's happening. And flying blind like this creates two really big risks.
First up, there's what researchers call the progress race. And this diagram here kind of says it all. The core fear is that AI automation is going to turbocharge the development of powerful, potentially harmful capabilities, the offensive side, in red, way faster than we can build the safety measures and the defenses needed to control them, which you see in green.
And this is the thing, right? It leaves us with these massive unanswered questions. Will our defenses be able to keep up? Will safety research fall dangerously behind the cool new capabilities? And can our institutions, our governments, our companies, society itself, even move fast enough to adapt to this breakneck speed? The honest answer? Right now, we just don't know.
Which leads us directly to the second big risk, the oversight gap. The logic here is pretty straightforward. As the speed and the sheer volume of AI research just explodes, our human ability to supervise it, to check the work and make sure it's safe, well, that could fall behind, dangerously behind.
And it's complicated, because automation is a real double-edged sword when it comes to oversight. On the one hand, maybe it helps. It could free up human researchers' time to focus more on review. But on the other hand, it could really hurt. You might end up with a world that has fewer human experts, AI-generated work that's just too complex for us to understand, and a fire hose of new experiments that's just impossible to keep up with.
So we're facing two huge risks, a progress race and an oversight gap. We're flying blind. So how do we get our vision back? Well, the research paper this is all based on has a really elegant solution. We need a dashboard.
The whole idea is built on a simple but incredibly powerful principle. You cannot manage what you do not measure. It's that simple. If we want any hope of steering this incredible technology in a safe direction, we first have to be able to see where it's going.
Yeah, think of it exactly like the instrument panel in a pilot's cockpit. This AI development dashboard would be a set of crucial metrics giving us the vital signs of AI research in real time. It would tell us how fast we're going, if the engines are running too hot, and if we're even on the right course.
So what would actually be on this dashboard? What are the vital signs we would absolutely need to be tracking to navigate this future responsibly?
Well, to get the whole picture, the researchers suggest we break it down by answering 4 fundamental questions.
First, test the AI's skills. Just how good is it at doing actual research tasks? Second, ask the humans. What are the researchers using these tools every day actually saying? Third, watch the process. What does the R&D process itself look like from the inside? And fourth, follow the money and power. Where are the resources, the cash and the computing power, really going?
Let's make this a little more concrete with some examples. To test the AI's skills, you could benchmark an AI's performance head-to-head against the top human expert. To ask the humans, you could systematically survey researchers on the real-world productivity boost they're getting. To watch the process, and this one is critical, you'd need to track how often an AI tries to subvert the rules or hide its mistakes. And to follow the money and power, you can ask a pretty simple question. Is the number of human researchers going down as automation goes up?
So you see, this framework isn't just some academic thought experiment. It's a real, concrete path forward. In a field that is so driven by hype and speculation and just a dizzying pace of change, this is a clear call to ground ourselves in actual data. It's a call for clarity before we accelerate any further into the unknown.
And achieving this clarity isn't a one-person job. It's going to take a collective effort. AI companies are on the front lines. They hold the raw data, and they have a responsibility to track that internal race between capabilities and safety. Governments have to step in and create safe, confidential ways to report key metrics, especially when it comes to safety incidents. And independent third parties, academics, nonprofits, they're absolutely essential to verify claims, build objective tools, and make sure we all have a clear, unbiased picture of what's really going on.
Because, ultimately, this isn't just about collecting data points for a spreadsheet. The whole point of building this dashboard is to give us some agency. It's about grabbing the controls, shifting from our current reactive, flying blind posture to one where we can make conscious, informed decisions. This is the technology that's actively designing our future, and these metrics are what allow us to have a say in that design.
Which leaves us with one final, crucial question to think about. If artificial intelligence is rapidly taking over the job of designing our future, who's checking the blueprints?